So my topic is golf, the sport of golf, and all of its barriers that come along with it. It kind of goes without saying that golf is a very hard sport to get into, and one of the main things that makes the sport so hard to get into is equipment in general. Golf it is needs a lot of equipment to be played properly. Typical set has 14 clubs, bag, tees. You need to be wearing the right clothes, all those types of things. Uh, all things that new players to the sport and people who are just being introduced to golf may not be very interested in. Price, of course, comes along with that. New golf clubs are very, very expensive. A new driver, for instance, can cost anywhere from like $500, $600. And golf is not at all like getting into a sport like soccer or basketball where you can just walk into any sporting goods store and be accommodated for what you need. A lot of the times you need to be like fitted for proper equipment, make sure things are sized for you properly, and also make sure that you're using the right clubs for your skill level. And if you're a new golfer, you're probably pretty inexperienced, and need clubs that are as forgiving as possible. If you're just going to go buy clubs off the shelf, there's a very, very strong chance that you are not using clubs that you need to be using. Commercials for golf clubs are also just a way for manufacturers to get your money into their pockets, really. Of course, like that's in all advertising in golf it is. Newer golfers should not be buying new clubs, from my opinion. Newer golfers should always be looking for used sets, buying things on the lower end, things that a new golfer does not need to be using a brand new $600 driver. That's just, they're not going to get the most out of it. It's just not realistic for a newer player. Another area that we get into when it comes to access to golf is location. Urban areas, there's not nearly as many golf courses or driving ranges, any kind of golf facilities like that. Like think about being in a city. A younger kid in a city is not going to have nearly as much access to golf as someone that lives in the suburbs, for instance, who is a 10-minute drive away from a state-of-the-art golf course and practice facility. Yeah, and one more thing that people get into when it comes to access to golf is the stigma around the sport. Golf is always known to be a very rich and white sport. That people just are not very welcoming in the golf community. That stigma is true in some cases, unfortunately, but in most places that is not at all the case. Think that the just overall cost of equipment and access to golf in general are two of the main things that keep people away from the sport.